Everybody, it's Julie from abhjuli.com, and today I'm participating in a collab. I was so happy to receive an email from Kelly from Freedom in a Budget. She asked me to join this collab. We're talking about merging finances when you get married, and I think my perspective is a little bit different than most. I got married when I was very young, and so I want to share a bit about my story and then give my tips at the end. So I got married when I was 17. Were you sitting down? Get back up, get back up. I was 17 and my husband was 20. He was in the Army and he was planning to deploy at the end of the year that we got married. And so he was like, hey, let's get married before I go. And so that's what we did. And I had just graduated high school and I had been working very part-time during my high school years and basically took everything that I had in savings to buy his ring. And that was it, and it was just me. And so when we moved, I was living in Florida when we got married, and then we moved to Texas because that's where he was stationed. And when we first went out there, I knew I was only going to be there for a month before he was going to have to go for training for a month. So basically there was no getting a job for me at that point. So that was like kind of a hard time for me to adjust from being a very full schedule to just about nothing. I basically like a housewife, and yet I wasn't really used to the idea of being a housewife. I knew what it would look like to be a mom at home, but being just by myself at home, it was kind of rough. So I would encourage you, if that's kind of your situation, just find something to keep you busy during that time. And then later on, I would do things like I was a waitress for a year. I would nanny. I worked at a, what do you call it? Not a grocery store, like a super store. And I worked at a pharmacy and just different like little things here and there, but it was never anything super permanent. I knew we were going to be moving, and eventually I wanted to have kids and stay home with them. So a career wasn't really something I was pursuing at that time, and it was one of those things where we decided that that was kind of like our way to do things. So we were going to have me at home with the kids, and then later I could just do whatever I wanted and, you know, pursue a career once my kids had gone through school and everything like that. So that was our choice, but I think that whatever you choose to do is awesome, and I think that maybe some of my tips can help you whether you choose to be a stay-at-home mom or you choose to work. Either way, I would say that if you're planning to have kids and stay at home, that you kind of set yourself up for that transition by depending mostly on his income and using your income as either fun money or savings or paying off debt, whatever stage you're at. And just kind of get into the mindset of depending on his income, not on yours, if that's what you're planning to do. And that way it'll kind of just help that transition, make it easier for you. And I think no matter what you're doing, just learning to live frugally from the beginning is really helpful, and learning that we can put off the things that we want a little bit, even just thinking over 24 hours before buying something, or if it's a big purchase, maybe thinking like until your next paycheck, or like, you know, a week or two before you just go out and buy something. That can help you no matter what you're planning to do for your career. I think that it's important as a couple to each have room to breathe, and whether that means a specific amount or just kind of agreeing together to let each other have moments of just spending money on things that maybe the other person doesn't think are super important. I think that in the end, keeping in mind that you're a team and that this is like a long-term thing, not just like a sprint to get to your goal, that can help you. I know that there's a saying, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go long, go together, something like that. I don't know who said it, but it's something like that. And I think that really can help in your perspective. Sometimes it can get frustrating if one person is a saver and one person is a spender. Either person could get frustrated with the other person if the one doesn't want to spend any money ever and the other one doesn't want to save any money ever. But I think just kind of helping each other balance each other out and just be a team is the ultimate goal. Another tip for if you are planning to stay at home is just to get scrappy and really think about the ways that you can add to the team at home. So maybe that means making your own cleaning products, maybe that means making bread, or using beans and rice, like Dave Ramsey would say, and just kind of figuring out what you can do to cut corners, and that can be really beneficial to your team. And maybe you're not bringing in the money, but maybe you're slowing the trickle out. I would also encourage that if you are deciding to come into a one income family, that you think about life insurance. Now, this is not something that we have had forever, but it is something that we have recently purchased, and it really does just give us both a peace of mind that if anything were to happen to the sole income earner, that the other person wouldn't be suddenly without income at all. And this is something that we just decided to do, and I'm really glad that we did, and I think it's worth the expense. So those are my ideas for mostly if somebody is combining incomes and really kind of going down to one income. I really can't talk about combining two large incomes and figuring that out because I haven't lived that. I don't have any experience in it. But if you have any questions about my story or about narrowing down to one income, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to do a Q&A or something like that if there were questions about that. Please check out the playlist or the other videos in the description box and check out their videos. Let them know that I sent you. Subscribe to their channels, and I would love to have you subscribe to mine if you're new. I will see you in my next video. Bye!